Archaeologists as well as historians point out that in the city of Polonnaruwa, two inner cities were constructed. Within one was the palace complex. In the other was the tooth relic complex. Although the tradition was to construct the tooth relic complex close to the royal palace at Polonnaruwa, there has been an apparent departure from these traditions. In the fortified compound complex of the tooth relic, it is significant that 3 palaces for the tooth relic, built at different times, have been found. The palace of the tooth relic, which is known as the Hattadage, can be seen when entering from the northern entrance southwards. Most people believe that it is so named either because it was constructed within 60 days or because it contained 60 relics. The Hattadage, which is an image chamber, is of the style of the Gandakuti and is built entirely of stone. Large slabs of stone have been used in the construction, and many decorative carvings too can be seen. Hattadage, in the opinion of archaeologists, was also an image chamber. The finding of 3 stone images may have influenced this view. On the lower story of the Hattadage, among the images at the rear portion, the image in the center is identified as that of the Buddha. The eyes of the image are directly focused on the Samadhi statue in the Vattadage, opposite the Hattadage. This is an extraordinary creation. It is believed that the tooth relic was placed in the upper story of the Hattadage. It is believed that the Vattadage, in front of the Hattadage, was the palace of the tooth relic, built by Parakramabahu I in the 12th century AD. There is enough evidence to show that the circular building had a roof over it. On the 4 sides were 4 Buddha statues in the Samadhi posture, made of stone and considered to be aesthetically pleasing creations. Among the monuments at Polonnaruwa, the Vattadage occupies a very prestigious place. A number of artistic features which are representative of the Polonnaruwa tradition are found in it. Polonnaruwa polity begins with Vijayabahu I, who unified the island under his rule and selected Polonnaruwa as his capital. With his coronation, he brought the tooth relic to Polonnaruwa, built the Hattadage, and placed the tooth relic in it. Professor Senarat Paranavitana says that the lively and expressive carvings at the Palace of the Tooth Relic, designated as the Hattadage, are some of the finest and rarest examples of the excellence of the creative arts of the Polonnaruwa period. The capital, which was in Anuradhapura for nearly 10 centuries, was moved to Polonnaruwa and was shifted once again in the 13th century. The pressure from internal and external enemies made the kings shift the capital to locations which they thought were safe. In the year 1232, Vijayabahu III is said to have brought the tooth relic, the traditional symbol of sovereignty, to Dambadenya, where he is said to have built a city with all amenities. 40 years later, King Bhuvanekabahu made Yapahua his capital. All these were defendable, strategic locations. Yapahua, also known as Subapabbata and Subhavala, represents a significant period in the evolution of the art of carving and sculpture. The most noteworthy specimen of stone architecture dating from the Dambadeniya period is the gateway at Yapahua, which is in Pandyan style and is noteworthy for the frieze of dancers and musicians at the base. The stairway leading to this gateway is reminiscent of similar structures in Cambodia and was perhaps designed by Khmer architects. Most archaeologists and architects have not been able to identify what the building was used for. It may be because within this are found features of a palace as well as that of a building for the tooth relic. What has made most people identify this as a palace for the tooth relic is the frieze of female dancers and musicians carved on the base. As mentioned earlier, the Yapahua stone carvings, sculpture, and some of the architectural features indicate foreign influences. Some are of the opinion that this was the entrance to a king's palace. According to them, the tooth relic, which is the traditional symbol of Sinhalese sovereignty, was placed at the summit of the rock. Whatever that be, Yapahua too was another proud capital of the island, built during turbulent times. It also displays the creative genius of the architects, sculptors, and other craftsmen who were associated with the striking creations. It was a fortress city, strategically located. On one side was a massive rock, and on the other side, the semicircular inner wall with traditional protective structures. In the inner city are found the remains of many buildings which may have been used for state purposes. On the semicircular inner wall, attached to the rock itself, are two entrances to the city. The moat, which is outside the wall, is fed by a natural water source, according to archaeologists. The site associated with the massive protective rock chosen by Bhuvanekabahu was the capital for well over a decade. It is a special and aesthetically pleasing location, apart from its strategic importance. The capital moved from here to Kurunegala, then to Gampola, and after that to Kotte and Sitawaka, and from there to Kandy, where Vimaladharma Surya established the center of government for about 200 years, till 1815, when the kingdom was handed over to the British Crown by a treaty.